Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm Cass with College of Lore.
I am the Penitent with College of Lore.
We're making YouTube videos.
Yeah, God,
Guess what we're talking about today?
You can see the title.
Good job! If you clicked on this video, you already know, I hope, that you're watching us rank all... You're listening to us. Listening to us rank all of the second level spells. Oh my god. There are more.
Yeah,
How many? There were 91 in the first one.
We
Guess
told you
what?
last time that we were pretty certain there would be less.
There's one more.
Yeah. There are actually 3 more, but...
But some of them don't make any fucking sense to have... They're basically duplicates.
Yes, they are.
They're duplicates. So really there's 92 in this one.
We are once again trying something new with the mics. Do let us know how it sounds.
Yeah, tell us how good we sound, because I hope we sound good.
Yeah. Unless there's a weird echoing, I think we'll sound perfect.
I think we will sound fine. I'm going to try very hard to make sure we don't echo.
So, a couple of quick notes. So many spells.
There are so many spells. There are 92 spells.
So, but, I actually was surprised. I would consider taking 46 of them in most situations. Yes.
So half of them.
Yes.
Okay, that's pretty good.
There are 18 spells that I could see myself taking a lot, but not nearly
Okay.
as much as the first 46.
Okay.
The rest aren't very good. They don't suit my style, but they're not for everyone. I think most of these have a use for someone, you know?
Yeah.
There's someone out there who could use most of these spells, I think.
Yep.
But it is 1:10 in the morning. This video goes live in 10 hours.
10 hours.
And
don't say that. Everyone's gonna judge us for being late.
There are 92 on this list.
We're gonna go so fast, guys.
So we might
kind of speed run this bitch.
Speed over some of them.
All right, let's do it.
All right, what do we got?
Number 92, Skywrite.
So Skywrite lets you...
I genuinely do not know why you would use this spell.
Write a message in the sky. That's the spell.
That's it.
Write up 10 words in a part of the sky you see. They appear to be made by clouds, and remain in place for up to 1 day.
Yeah.
Also, strong wind can end the spell's effect because...
Which is bad.
You didn't want it to be too strong.
Because it's windy sometimes, and that's bad.
Yeah, so that is this spell, and it's not very good.
It's not really very good. Number 91, Ray of Enfeeblement.
So Ray of Enfeeblement
What's wrong with this one? It's a bunch of little things that make it really bad.
So, on the surface level, it seems like a fairly strong spell.
I thought it was pretty good until you explained to me why it sucks ass, actually.
Yeah, it reduces damage to half for strength attacks on one enemy, you can see.
Yes.
The issue is this. It's a ranged spell attack, not a save.
Yep.
The target deals half damage with a strength weapon, no disadvantage, no...
Yep.
No damage.
And it's only strength.
They get to make a con save on their turn.
Yep.
To end the spell. And it lasts
con is the most successful save on average.
Yes, I believe.
I think so. It's close, at least.
Absolutely. And then it lasts a minute. And it's concentration.
Yeah. Guys, it's really not that good.
Yeah, there are so many little things about this spell that just make it almost useless.
Yeah. Number 90. Find traps.
So it does what it says in the tin. It helps you find traps. The investigation skill does exist.
And surprise, surprise, the investigation skill actually might work better sometimes. I will be real. Because this doesn't tell you where or what they are.
No.
Also, the investigation spell can tell you if there's a natural pitfall, which this spell can't.
Yep.
Guys, I did not think this was possible. This spell is worse than a thing you can just generally do in real life, normally.
I have said before that I think that any spell that can be replicated by an ability you already have in the game is not a very good spell. And this one can be outperformed.
This one's worse.
If you have anything that isn't negative to investigation,
Someone in your party should.
Yeah, unless your entire party has negative investigation mods.
Sorry, our cat is crazy.
She's looking for something to jump to, but she can't find anything.
She doesn't know where she's going. Do any of us, really? I don't think so. I don't know where I'm going. I'm gonna drive around until I figure it out. 89. Flame Blade. Not to be confused with Green Flame Blade, which is a cantrip, I think, and an infinitely cooler name for a better spell.
So, you make a scimitar made of fire.
Whoa.
It's a bonus action spell. You can make a melee spell attack to deal 3d6 fire, and the blade sheds bright light. So,
like, that's fine, except that you can do more damage than that. With the second level Burning Hands, it can hit more people, and it's not a fucking melee spell attack.
Yeah, you have to get into melee range for this.
This is really bad, guys.
Yeah, you have to get...
It's so bad.
You have to get full into melee range for this to work.
Just use second level Burning Hands. It hits more guys, it does more damage, it's better. Number 88. Dust Devil.
I would like to introduce you all to a concept called walking around something.
Just walk out. You can leave. If there's dust, get out of the way.
Dust Devil makes this swirling vortex of, like, dust and air.
Whoa.
It does 1d8 bludgeoning damage and pushes something 10 feet away. They get to save a strength saving throw.
Which is not that hard.
Not be pushed back and take half as much damage.
Okay.
You can move it up to 30 feet in any direction as a bonus action. It lasts a minute, mind you.
Yep, it's not that good.
To hit things, and it kind of obscures the area. 1d8 is not fantastic.
It's really bad.
It's resistible.
Yep. So it could do...
And...
1 damage.
Outside of, like, super
damage.
tight corridors, you can walk around it.
Yeah. I don't really know why you would use this spell.
Yeah, it's a mystery.
It's a mystery. Number 87. This one's gonna get us some shit. It's Dark Vision.
Yeah, okay, so let's
hear us out on this.
Have a candid conversation.
Let's be real here.
About the Dark Vision spell.
Let's try to be reasonable about it at least.
It is a spell that grants, as you would guess, Dark Vision.
Yep.
And a lot of people really like the spell.
A lot of people really like this spell.
8-hour Dark Vision, 60 feet. A lot of people really like the spell. The issue is this. I don't know if it's just games that I play.
Yeah.
I rarely find Dark Vision as relevant as the meme makes it to be. I think as someone who's played 3.5, I get where it comes from.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot more kind of delving there.
We don't do dungeons. We do the dragons part way more than the dungeons part, guys.
And there's just, in modules, in a lot of Adventurers League play, and a lot of, honestly, most homebrew games, especially since the advent of things like Critical Role,
yeah,
this just doesn't come up as much. And additionally, most races now, or at least most commonly played ones, have Dark Vision.
Short of, like, humans, most races have Dark Vision.
And I don't know, I would... The Light Cantrip kind of replaces it. There's a spell on this list that does better things.
There's a spell on this list that is permanent light. Why would you need Dark Vision as a spell when you could take that spell instead?
Like, I grant you that, you know, Dark Vision doesn't shed light, so you don't want to draw attention to yourself, but at the same time, it's situational, and I'm not a big fan.
There's so few times where both of those are problems you're going to encounter at the same time.
So
it's really low on the list.
So I understand why you're going to be like, that's a bad take. But
it's a good take if you're me.
We talked about this ad nauseum.
Yeah, we talked about this one a lot. We decided it was bad.
Yes.
That was the decision we started at. It was also the decision we ended at. There was a lot of discussion back and forth, but it's bad. Number 86. Branding Smite.
So, this is another Smite Paladin spell that does 2d6 radiant damage.
Hey, do you guys want to know how much damage Divine Smite does at second level? More than that.
3d8, I believe, right?
Crazy. Yeah, it's 3d8. Isn't that crazy how this spell is worse than Divine Smite?
So,
why would you use it?
If the target is invisible, it becomes visible.
How many invisible enemies are you hitting with this, guys?
It cannot become invisible. Yeah, that's the thing. It's such a weirdly specific thing for the amount of damage it reduces.
Yeah.
And also, you still have to hit the invisible enemy first, which is disadvantaged automatically.
And it only lasts a minute.
Yeah.
You're wasting a spell slot if you miss, and it's not that hard to miss.
Yeah. Because you'll have disadvantage no matter what you do.
Number 85. Pyrotechnics. Whew.
I wanted to like this spell a lot more than I did.
like the idea of the spell. I like the idea that you can... I think it'd be really cool if you could make jets of fire shoot up from the floor. Like in real pyrotechnics.
So
it's kind of lame that you can't.
What Pyrotechnics does is you can choose a 5-foot cube, and you can either make potentially temporarily blinding, dazzling lights, or you can make vision-obscuring smoke in that 5-foot cube.
Guys, 5-foot cube spells are so bad.
They are.
They're so bad. It's just bad. Don't do it. Maybe if you're playing, like, super, super strict grid stuff, it's sort of okay. I don't care about it.
It's not... I want to like it more than I do, but it's just... It doesn't actually come in that... Like, Fog Cloud is a first-level spell with much more smoke radius.
Yep.
This reaches a 20-foot radius eventually. Fog Cloud outpaces that.
Sure does.
Blindness Deafness is also a second-level spell.
Yeah. It's better.
Yes.
I actually do like that spell a lot.
I do. It's much later on this list.
Number 84. See Invisibility. Hey, we just talked about branding.
Yeah.
Which sort of lets you do that.
I don't know what designer at Wizards keeps playing a game where the DM just throws a bunch of invisible enemies at them.
Yeah, but it seems like it happens a lot more than average.
Yeah, I feel like they should have a conversation
Invisible
with,
enemies George, who fights 10,000 invisible enemies every game session, is an outlier and should not have been considered in spell design.
Legitimately, I'm not infallible. I do these rankings. I did this ranking between 2 and 5 in the morning last night.
You were up really late. You said this would take you an hour.
And I was wrong.
And you were wrong.
Because I underestimated how many spells there were.
There are a lot. You did the first level one. Why did this one take you longer? It didn't, did it?
Mm-hmm. No, it did.
Oh.
It did because I decided I was going to write a notes document to accompany it.
Oh.
Basically giving my basic thoughts on it, so I have a point to jump off of.
And yet this is still taking the same amount of time. 84
anyway.
is See Invisibility.
Yeah, if you are a DM or player that has a bunch of invisible encounters, let us know how that's working out for you and why.
Why are you doing that? 83, Nathair's Mischief.
So I actually quite like a lot of the effects.
This is, hey, on the Wikipedia page we were using for these, this one literally just exists twice.
Yeah, the Unearthed Arcana and the regular version that was printed in Fizban's Treasury of Dragons are the same damn spell.
They're the same spell. Nothing was even changed.
So,
at all.
I like
exact same spell.
These effects. Charm a creature, or blind a creature, or incapacitate them, or difficult terrain.
You guys want to know something crazy? You can do those things with other spells.
The problem is this. It's random.
It's random?
Yeah, you roll a d4 and get a random effect of those 4.
Man, that is so bad.
Yes.
Yikes.
Yeah, no. When you cast a spell, it is entirely random what of the 4 you get.
Wild. Imagine you're trying to charm somebody and you end up just fucking knocking them on their ass.
Wait, please consider goes blind.
Yeah, real. Consider, fuck you, you don't get to see. In fairness, I would be scared if I suddenly went blind. I would maybe rethink my course of action if that happened to me.
That's fair.
82. Locate object.
So, this actually seems initially really strong.
It seems pretty good.
When I was looking at playing Curse Star for the first time, I'm like, oh, items. Do we need items? I'll take a look at object. The problem is, describe or name an object that is familiar to you.
Yeah, you have to know this guy.
So, this is an object you know. You have to know this object.
You have met this object. You personally know this object is an object that you've met, so not just some random object. It's an object that you
tell
personally...
me about a time when you or this
I'm
object...
going to link that video in the description, because it's so funny. You'll understand what I mean if you watch it. I'm probably going to forget.
Anyway.
It's so good.
This spell can locate an object known to you, so this is an object you know, as long as you have seen it up close, within 30 feet at least once.
That's so bad.
The problem is this. The spell cannot locate an object if any thickness of lead, even a sheet, blocks the path between you and it.
Yep.
So, here is the inherent issue with it.
Yep.
So, you're familiar with the item. So either it was stolen...
You gotta know this bitch.
So it was either stolen or you know where it is.
Yeah.
And if it was stolen, any thief who knows you could potentially have access to look at object is just going to bring a lead-lined bag.
Yep.
As a DM, as someone who's DM'd, 100% I would do that 100% of the time.
Yeah. If you know anything, you would do that. 81. Locate animals or plants. We're locating.
So, like, this one you can cast as a ritual, which I guess makes it better.
That's fine, I guess.
How
hard is it to find an animal or
describe
plant?
or name a specific kind of beast or plant.
Okay, it does make more sense if it's like a specific one, I guess.
How
hard is it to find an animal or a plant?
You learn the direction and distance of the closest creature or plant that is within 5 miles of that kind, if any are present. Or pleasant. They're all pleasant.
They're all pleasant. I love them.
So,
I love plants and animals.
Why?
When are you using this?
And, like, it's traditionally a druid spell. It can be learned by bards and rangers too, but if you're playing a druid, for example, when do you need this so immediately that you would prepare it that day?
Yeah.
That you can't prepare it tomorrow?
Seriously, yeah. And if you're playing as a ranger, or frankly a bard is the other thing that you said gets it.
Yes.
Why are you going to take up valuable spell list slots for that?
I don't.
You'd only get so many spells, y'all.
Especially as a ranger.
Yeah. You really got to be careful with those. This is not worth your time.
It's so situational.
Number 80. Protection from poison.
How often does poison come up for all of you?
It doesn't really come up for us. Maybe it does for you.
Like, again, this protection from poison, see invisibility. A lot of these things are just like...
They're very situational.
So
if you're not constantly interacting with those situations.
It cures poison and wards them from poison for 1 hour.
Yep. Could be worse.
Notably, only one type of poison.
One. And if you have multiple in it, it randomizes which one it removes. Which is so funny to me. Imagine you have a poison of make your fingers a little tingly and a poison of kill you in 5 minutes in your system at the same time.
Most poisons afflict conditions.
Yeah.
And can I tell you what a different second level spell is?
Yeah.
Lesser Restoration.
Which you can make sure does the right thing.
Lesser Res isn't even that good of a spell, but it outclasses protection from poison in almost all situations.
Yep. 79. Spray of cards.
This is another one that I really wanted to
I looked at it and I was like, this sounds cool at first glance. What's wrong with it?
Well, it's kind of pyrotechnics, basically.
Oh, that's fair.
So you can temporarily blind something until its next turn.
Yep.
Or deal 2d10 force to something on a failed save or half as much as a successful one. 2d10 is not great. It's not very good.
For a second level spell, yeah.
But unlike pyrotechnics, at least it does something more useful than fog cloud.
Yeah. Cool.
That's all I got for this. It's not very good, but it's also not very interesting.
Yeah, that's lame. 78. Jim's glowing coin.
This is another one that's gonna get me shit.
Yeah? Why is this one gonna get you shit? I didn't pay attention to this one.
So, people really like this spell.
Why?
So for 1 minute, you make a coin appear. The coin lights up as if under an effective light spell. Each creature of your choice that can see it within 30 feet must make a wisdom save or be distracted. Distracted is notably not a condition. Yeah. While distracted, you have disadvantage on perception checks and initiative rolls. Okay.
It's kind of cool in theory.
My thinking is this.
Okay.
You roll initiative at the start of combat.
Yes.
So, in order to cast this, it is an action. It's not a bonus action or anything like that.
Yep.
Or a reaction to start of combat.
Yep.
If it was a reaction to, like, initiative starting, that would be a different story.
That would be really cool, yeah.
How often do you go into a room knowing you're about to fight something within the next minute?
Yeah.
Because it lasts a minute, is the thing.
Yeah, it doesn't last very long.
And the disadvantage on perception checks just doesn't...
I mean, the only time I think it would be useful is if you have, like, a rogue.
Yeah,
who's being sneaky.
which is a very situational
it's-
scenario.
In this scenario where you are about to go attack a bunch of guys, and your rogue is already scouting them, and you don't want your rogue to be seen while you go in to attack these guys. I guess. It's more situational even than that makes it sound.
Yeah. The initiative thing is cool in theory, but I never see it coming up, you know?
77. Enthrall.
This is another one people actually like a fair bit.
Alright, we're gonna get more shit. 2 in a row.
This effect, basically...
I feel like I might be able to guess a word that could describe what it does.
It enthralls people.
Whoa.
So, basically, it can charm a number of creatures.
A number of creatures. Any specific number? Just any, however many you want?
Boy, you'd really think this was easier to navigate.
Just some creatures.
So, yeah, sorry. Creatures of your choice within range that can hear you.
Okay.
Is what it says.
So it could be any
weirdly
number.
specific.
I'm sure there's an upper threshold to that.
Yes. So basically, for a minute, you can charm any creature that can hear you if they fail their wisdom save. Which...
Could be worse.
Like, it could be worse, it could be a lot better. There are other spells of this level that do the same effect, but a lot better.
Alright.
And we'll get to those later, and that's why this is knocked down a bit.
76. Crown of Madness.
I used to love this spell. I used to love Crown of Madness.
This sounds like
the
a fuck.
crux of Crown of Madness is you can make an enemy do your bidding to a degree.
Yeah.
Not
you told me why this one is bad, right?
Yes, not to a crazy degree.
Yeah.
But
it's not like Dominate Person.
No.
We'll get to that in another video a few weeks from now.
Yeah. So Crown of Madness basically, it only affects humanoids, which is fine. It only lasts a minute, which is fine. It's concentration, which is fine. Wisdom saving throw, which are often hard to pass. They become charmed, and then you can choose how it attacks.
Yep.
The problem is that it cannot move before it attacks.
Yeah.
Which any enemy that isn't
stupid.
Any enemy with probably intelligence like 3 or more is going to understand, get away from the weird thing with glowing eyes and a crown of thorns on its head.
Yeah. And anything a little bit smarter than that understands their buddy is possessed.
Yeah, and you can't have them pursue because they have to attack before they can move.
Yeah. It's not helpful, yeah.
Yeah.
It's bad. 75. Immovable object.
Speaking of unable to move.
Immovable objects.
Yes. Love how that works together.
There should also be a second level spell called Unstoppable. That sounds really broken, actually. Never mind.
So you can magically fix an item that weighs no more than 10 pounds in one place in space for an hour.
Buy an immovable rod. It lasts longer.
Can hold up to 4,000 pounds.
Buy an immovable rod.
So...
I like those. I think they're funny.
This is kind of similar to something like Arcane Lock that I could see you using in like a situation of you have a home base.
Yeah.
But man, I'm struggling to find uses for Immovable Object. This is one of the spells that I got to in ranking this. I just kind of glazed over.
Yeah, it'd be like that.
It's not an interesting spell to me.
It's not interesting.
It's not that fun, and it doesn't offer that many solutions because you're just putting some stuff in another thing in space.
Yep.
It's not really that great.
74. Melf's Acid Arrow.
So how do you feel about not doing a lot of damage?
Hate it. It's
How
the worst.
do you feel about not doing a lot of acid damage?
That sucks.
So, you make a ranged...
Boy, have I got the spell.
You make a ranged spell attack.
Okay.
You with me so far? You like that so far?
It's okay.
Would prefer a save.
Yeah.
If you hit, the target takes 4d4 acid damage.
44 acid damage is a lot. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I know what you meant.
And 2d4 at the end of its next turn, which is very strong.
That's kind of cool.
On a miss, the arrow deals 2d4
Yep.
and no additional damage.
Yikes.
It's just not very good damage output, and it's a ranged spell attack as opposed to a save.
Yeah.
And it hits one target, which most acid spells don't.
Yeah.
It's
I have like one connotation with this spell. It's not useful. It's not a like game story. I saw it mentioned in a D&D fanfiction once. It was relevant to a fanfiction I read once. That's all I know about it.
How is it relevant?
I don't want to talk about it. I shouldn't have brought it up. It's from a Kurtwell fanfiction.
Does it involve the Briarwoods? Anyway.
No, it doesn't actually. Well, vaguely. Very, very vaguely. It's an extremely vague connotation. I'm not gonna go into it.
Anyway.
It's not the time and place. I'll tell you after, though.
Alright.
Number 73, Digital Phantom.
This spell is Pass Without Trace, but only for computer hacking. It's literally just
That's
Pass Without
lame.
Trace, but only for computer hacking. Unless you're running a specific, like, hack-related game, I don't see a point for it. Hacking
I
into
know
a
it's
computer,
from Modern Magic, but
yeah,
still.
is generally not as useful as sneaking somewhere physically, even in modern games.
72, Prayer of Healing. 10-minute casting time.
Yeah, it takes 10 minutes to cast.
10-minute casting time.
Like, that is... I don't care how much it heals. It is 10 minutes. It's 2d8 plus spell modifier. That's great. Up to 6
Fine.
creatures. Heal that. That's great. It takes 10 minutes to cast. You cannot cast it in combat.
During a short rest.
Yeah, you can do it during a short rest. Which is, like, it's fine. That's fine healing during a short rest. But you know what else you can do during a short rest? You can save the spell slot. Because this is not a ritual. And you can just...
You can use your hit dice.
Use your hit dice.
You can use your hit dice.
You can just use your
I
hit
guess
dice.
if you needed more. But why would you?
Yeah. It doesn't move the needle.
Pop. 71, Cloud of Daggers.
So it's
I would be really scared if I saw a cloud made of daggers, I will be real.
So Cloud of Daggers is, in my mind, mildly, very mildly, more effective than Create Bonfire.
Okay. That's fair.
Create Bonfire is a cantrip.
Oh. Well, that's kind of bad.
Which, yep, that sure is a thing. Just go with Create Bonfire if you want this effect. You make a 5-foot cube,
Bad.
centered on point within range. A creature takes 44 slashing when it enters the spell's area for the first time on its turn or starts its turn there.
Yep.
Just do Create Bonfire.
Just do Create Bonfire. It's a cantrip. 70, Magic Mouth.
So...
That's my magic mouth noise.
Yeah. Magic mouth noise sure is a... Let's... Fuck
It's
it.
my new
Get us
favorite album
to...
title.
Get us to 1,000 subscribers by the end of Wednesday, and we'll
At
make...
the end of Wednesday.
Yeah, we'll make merch that says, this is my magic mouth noise on
you
it.
definitely want to buy that.
Yeah, end of Wednesday, get it done. Hey, speaking of, subscribe to us, like our channel.
Oh shit, yeah, I forgot to say that.
Check us out on Patreon. Remy Sweet of Winter. That's
I'm
our
sorry,
pitch.
guys.
We have a
I
Patreon.
forgot.
Give us
I love you guys, I'm sorry.
subscriptions. Press the like button. Send me presents.
Send me chips. It's almost... I almost said the wrong whole holiday. I almost said it's almost Halloween.
Well,
It's almost the holiday season. I'm sorry.
in a manner of speaking, it's almost Halloween. But anyway,
It's it!
yeah,
It's,
if you're
it's just past Halloween.
counting backwards.
If you're counting backwards. I love that.
So,
Magic
you can
mouth.
implant a message into an object within range. You can set a trigger condition for when that thing would be said, like someone entering a room, etc., etc. It repeats the message. Like, The spell just gives me a resounding
Yeah. I feel like if I used this spell, I would be really annoying.
In fact, my notes on this just says,
Okay.
It isn't subtle
That's
as
not
you'd
a very
like
helpful set of notes.
a message to be.
Yeah.
There are better options for this. There's a better option for sending a message coming earlier for a specific person.
Yeah.
I've seen this in old modules because I've run a lot of like AD&D modules
Yeah.
used to like warn off dungeon delvers.
See, I thought that might have been what that
Yeah.
thing was. Yeah.
I don't know, it's dumb.
69. Nice. Gust of wind.
It's just fucking wind.
It's fucking windy out here.
It's just
It's fucking windy outside, dude.
like
Oh shit.
you might get 2 turns because it lasts a minute.
It windy.
It's just
windy.
it's wind that might push someone back 15 feet. It's not that interesting.
It's not that good.
It's just fucking wind.
68. Phantasmal Force. That is a way cooler sounding spell name than Gust of Wind.
I want Phantasmal Force to be better than it is. Fundamentally.
That keeps happening.
I like the idea for a lot of these spells.
Yeah.
You make an illusion in the mind of a creature. Awesome.
Oh, is this the one that does damage?
Yeah, it's an illusion that can deal damage.
That's really cool.
The problem is, cannot affect undead or constructs, sure, whatever.
Yeah.
1 minute.
Yeah.
Again, we talk about 1 minute casting times as not being as long as you think they are.
Yeah.
The target thinks it's real.
Mm-hmm.
They can make a intelligence investigation check
Yep.
against your spell save DC to disbelieve.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it does 1d6 damage.
Does 1d6?
Yeah.
That's so bad?
Yeah, it can deal 1d6 each.
It's an action?
Yeah, on each round of your turn. On your turn.
Wild.
So realistically, it's getting 1d6, maybe 2d6 off.
Wasteful.
Additionally, if they fail both investigation checks, it's just not very good.
It's not good.
It's the damage is not what you need it to be.
It's just
for
cool
this.
in theory.
I love the idea. It's big. Your mileage may vary if you have a much smaller party.
Yeah.
I wish it did more damage. Against one enemy, this can be encounter winning, though.
Yeah, that's true. 67. Flock of Familiars.
So find familiar.
What if you got 2 more?
Yeah, it makes 3 familiars. That's all it does.
It makes 3.
I'm not sure exactly. Like,
What's
find
preventing
familiar.
you from casting the Find Familiar spell 3 times?
Well, 3 level 1 slots versus
No, I
1
know.
level 2 slots.
But,
So,
Find Familiar is permanent.
the ROI here is what bothers me.
Yeah?
I think the return on investment of casting 1 familiar
Yeah.
is very useful. What the fuck do you need 3 of them
Yeah,
for?
what do you need 3 Familiars for?
Like, what can 3 familiars do that 1 can't is my biggest issue with this spell.
What's up with that? Number 66. Agonazar's Scorcher.
Burning Hands is better than this spell.
Burning Hands is better than this spell. That's it. Next one.
Yeah, no. That's
it.
all.
Next one. 65. Cordon of Arrows. That's it. That's literally the entire thing.
As a Burning Hands aficionado, I feel like you're offended.
I love Burning Hands.
So you can
It's one of my favorite spells.
place 4 arrows. This is basically an arrow trap that,
Costs a spell slot.
yeah, it can take 1d6 piercing damage.
Takes a d6 of piercing damage. Takes a d6 of piercing
Snare
damage.
isn't even.
Takes a d6 of piercing damage.
So Snare isn't even that good of a spell, and it's better than this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's an 8-hour trap, but Snare is a better spell than this, and Arcane Lock, Alarm is a better spell than this.
Whoa.
Yeah.
64. Shadow Blade. We've had Flame Blade and Shadow Blade.
So this is definitely better.
What other damage types will we have?
Shadow Blade is a lot like Flame Blade, actually, but the difference, the thing that puts it over here.
Okay, cool. I'm excited to find out.
Damage type is Psychic instead of Fire,
Okay, that's way different.
and you can throw it.
That bops. Okay,
Yes.
that's pretty cool.
So the big difference between the 2 swords is that you can throw this one.
Okay. Yeet.
It has a thrown property. It's 2d8 Psychic. That's pretty good, honestly.
It's not bad.
We're getting into the middle tier-ish.
63. Thought Shield.
Sorry. How many of these did I say I cast? I would cast 46. Interesting. Cool.
Yeah.
Thought Shield.
Thought Shield. We're at halfway. They start being useful in your mind.
Yes. I think it's Shadow Blade is about where they get slightly more useful.
Thought Shield.
So,
Shield me from my thoughts.
an 8-hour one-action
I have
spell
mental illness.
that you touch a creature for 8 hours. The target's mind cannot be read or detected. Creatures cannot communicate telepathically with it unless it allows them. Target has advantage on saves against any effect that would determine whether it's telling the truth.
Wild.
Like, it's just kind of niche.
Yeah.
It's a lot of the mid tier of this is just bizarrely situational spells, and this is the poster boy of bizarrely situational spells.
62. Kinetic Jaunt.
Oh,
I like the name. I think it's kind of crunchy.
yeah, it's a crunchy
It's
little
a
name.
fun little word combination.
You know how I often say I like spells more?
Yeah.
I wish I liked this spell less.
What? Huh?
So it's a bonus action.
Okay.
Concentration up to a minute.
Yep.
You magically empower your alone movement to get increase of 10-foot walking speed. You cannot provoke opportunity attacks. You don't trigger difficult terrain.
Yeah. Can't you move through other stuff?
Yeah, you can move through the space of another creature.
Yeah.
Which is
kind of cool.
Cool. You don't provoke opportunity attacks is the big thing here. This is on this list right now.
Mm-hmm.
For one reason only. It's as high as it is. I hate to do it for one class. I hate to do it for one subclass. But this spell is legitimately amazing if you're a Blade Singer.
That's fair. That's fair.
Like, this spell is amazing if you're a Blade Singer. And I hate movement adjusting spells.
Yeah. Number 61. Spider Climb.
So, when you hit higher levels, fly
It's crazy
exists.
how this spell lets you climb on spiders. That's really specific.
At higher levels, fly exists.
Yeah.
Climbing is a skill you can do.
Yeah.
Although, I grant you, not on entirely flat surfaces.
No.
And honestly, even at this level, levitate can mitigate a lot of what this does.
Yeah.
I don't find it that useful as an ability. Like, it gives you the ability...
Cool.
Sorry, I tried to describe what the spells do. It gives you the ability to walk on walls like a spider.
Scuttling around.
But its usefulness kind of nosedives with me.
60. Alter Self.
So, I like this one to a degree.
To a degree.
The big issue for me with Alter Self is situationality of it, as I often.
Yeah.
So you can do 3 things for up to an hour. You can make it so you can breathe underwater.
Yep.
You can shapeshift.
Yep.
Or you could grow a natural weapon. The shapeshifting one has infinitely more uses to me, because you can turn to look like someone.
Yeah.
It's replaceable if you're a changeling, but the other two are just so situational for me. I don't see as a wizard, sorcerer, or artificer why you want claws or fangs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I got.
59. Arcane Hacking.
So, Arcane Hacking is...
It's a spell.
Yeah.
It's one of the spells. Easily one of the spells on a spell list.
You get advantage on intelligence checks using hacking tools to break software.
Yep.
The spell also lets you break Arcane Lock or Glyph of Warding.
That's kind of cool.
It's fine. This one is entirely non-offensively fine. It's not something you write home about.
It's just mid-tier.
Yes.
58. Wrist Pocket. I think this spell is kind of cool.
I agree. It's
flavor.
cool. It's flavorfully cool. It makes something disappear for like an hour in your
Yeah,
hand.
you can hide it and pull it back out at will, basically.
Yes. Which is cool for flavor and kind of interesting and visually interesting, but
Yeah, you can summon this thing out of nowhere.
at the same
looks
time,
kinda cool.
I don't. Yeah,
I don't know.
not the biggest fan in the world.
No. 57. Darkness.
So
If you could see through this, it would fuck hard.
yeah, the issue with darkness
This
is
would be broken if you could see through it.
you cannot see through it. It is a vision obscuring spell, and if you are a vision obscuring spell, you have to be better than Fog Cloud, and darkness isn't.
Yeah.
The only real advantage
If
darkness
you could
has,
see through darkness, it would be so cool.
yeah, the only real advantage darkness has is that it kind of bends around corners.
56. Nistel's Magic Aura.
All right, so I like the concept because it is unlike basically everything else on any of these lists. It is the only spell in Magic that does the effect that it does,
Okay.
or the only spell in D&D that does the effect that it does. 24 hours. You place basically this illusion on a creature that causes divination spells to reveal false information about the creature.
That is pretty cool.
That is a really cool effect. Nothing else in Magic, nothing else in D&D really does that.
Yeah.
But
But it's situational.
it's so badly situational.
55. Warding Wind. It fucking windy.
So the thing
Again,
about-
it's windy again, guys.
this is better than the other wind spell for obvious
Okay.
reasons.
Because it's higher on the list.
So, for 10 minutes, the wind can extinguish all unprotected flames, make the area difficult terrain. Attack rolls of ranged weapons have disadvantage if they pass in or out of the wind.
Yep.
Eliminates vapor, fog, and gas, which is the really useful thing here. Deafens you and all of the creatures in the area of the wind.
Yeah. Fun.
10-foot radius, just like... It remains centered on you for 10 minutes. it's so balanced that I don't enjoy it.
Yeah. It does so many things to both sides, is the thing.
Yeah. Balance is fun, but also...
You want to get an advantage.
Yeah, I don't see what advantages grant you, aside from the dispersing of poison, which is why it's not lower on the list.
54. Mental barrier. I need some of those.
Mental
Gotta
barrier.
block off the mental illness.
Gotta get those mental eels out.
God damn it, I have so many mental eels.
So, basically...
Mentally, I am an eel.
You trigger an OCD episode in yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
And until the start of your next
Real.
turn, you have advantage on intelligence, wisdom, and charisma saving throws, and you have resistance to psychic damage.
It's
a reaction when you're forced to make a wisdom, charisma, or intelligence saving throw.
That's kind of cool, honestly.
Yeah, it gets you advantage for one saving throw. It helps you resist psychic damage. It's pretty neat. It's fine. I wish that there were less spells I liked so it could be higher on this list, because I think it's a neat little spell.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it is a second level spell. I would not be offended if this were downgraded to a first level spell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
53. Levitate.
Oh, real quick. As someone who has OCD, I would not have advantage on saves during an OCD loop.
Yeah.
Levitate. So, ignoring the fact that this spell shares the title of a very popular song right now.
What song?
Levitating.
Okay. Who is it by? What is the vibe of it? I could have fucking guessed. Whoa!
Well,
No way!
you did ask.
You know what I meant!
Dua Lipa.
Oh. Okay. Is this a TikTok song?
I think so.
Is that why it's popular?
I think so.
I don't TikTok. I know we have a TikTok. I never even upload on it. I'm bad at it.
So one creature
You
or
can't
object...
schedule shit on there, so I don't use it.
One creature or object you can see rises vertically up to 20 feet and remains there for 10 minutes. This is useful
noise.
for ranged attackers, which we'll get to this week with the sniper class.
Yeah,
on our
we're talking
homebrew.
about snipers on our homebrew. Check it out when it comes up on Wednesday.
And as a wizard, you can get yourself out of a lot of harm's way. A lot of things can't hit you when you're 20 feet up.
Yeah.
Notably, I don't like using it on enemies, because when it ends, you just fall harmlessly to the ground.
Yeah, that's kind of lame.
But it's useful if you're a wizard and you just rise yourself 20 feet, and I'm going to spell sling from up here.
Yeah.
And I think this is one that you could use at any level, which is the big thing about it.
Pretty cool. 52. Gentle Repose.
Oh,
I think this spell is actually pretty fucking cool. It's like the only thing that does this, like the other one.
It is.
It's really cool, it's just there's a bunch of other stuff that's better.
It's so situational.
It's very situational. I think it's cool as hell, though.
Basically, you preserve a body for up to 10 days.
Yeah.
Preserve a body from decaying or having effects like... You could theoretically, like, snap this immediately on someone when they die to, like, preserve or vivify, for example.
Yeah. That's kind of cool.
But you need to reply to every 10 days immediately.
Yeah.
But, yeah, basically, like... It's a really cool effect, but there are a lot of spells that do it better. I like that it's a ritual. That is definitely some brownie points in its favor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
51. Enlarge, reduce.
So, this helps you make things bigger or smaller.
Whoa. No way.
There are just more useful things to do with your spell slot, honestly.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like, this has not a lot of
fine spell.
non-combat uses. I think I'd just always go for the straight damage over this in combat instead of, like, making someone's weapon slightly better or an enemy's weapon slightly worse. It lets you basically increase or decrease something's size category, which isn't... It's a fine effect, but there are better things to do with it.
Number 50. Fortune's Favor.
So, this one is...
Fine.
Fine. Again, we're in the mid-tier of... These are fine.
Yeah.
You impart luck on yourself or one willing creature. You basically give something advantage for up to an hour on their next roll.
Yeah.
It's a 1 minute casting time, so you can't cast it for, like, to help someone save or something.
Yep.
It's just this 1 minute casting spell that can give something advantage on the next attack roll.
Cool.
Or ability check or saving throw.
Cool.
For the next hour. It's fine, it's not offensive, but it's also not something you'd write home about.
49. Animal Messenger.
So, you can send an animal to do your messaging for you.
Mm-hmm.
This is something I would prefer over Magic Mouth, as an example. though not over something like sending, which we'll see later in the future lists.
Yes.
You deliver a tiny beast to send a message to a person you describe within 50 miles. Or
Okay.
25 miles. 50 if it's a flying creature, 25 if it's not.
Okay.
25-word message. Delivers a message to a creature you describe, replicating the sound of your voice.
Interesting.
Notably, you cannot get a response.
Yeah, that's kind of bad.
So it's a one-sided message you can send
it's a
via
warning, basically.
creature. Yeah.
Cool. 48. Beast Sense.
So, this one requires a weird amount of setup,
Okay.
in my mind. Because you need to have, first of all, a friendly creature.
Yep.
You can see through its eyes and hear what it hears, and continue to do so until you use your action to return to your normal senses.
Okay.
One action, concentration up to an hour. It takes an action to end the spell.
Yeah, that's kind of sketchy.
And just, it's so situational. It is a ritual, I'll grant you that.
Yeah.
But it's so situational. It's useful scouting, especially on smaller creatures.
Yeah.
Or flying creatures. But it leaves you defenseless. It takes an action to end, and it's a lot of setup.
47. Earthbind.
So, this bounds a flying creature to the ground unless it can save. Which is the situational spell. It's so useful against
In
a
that
flying
situation.
creature. But if it's not, it's just sitting in your spell slot, in your
Yeah.
spell list. And that's why it's here, because Earthbind is crazy useful against some of the most powerful things in the game.
But only against that.
Yes.
Guys, we're halfway done.
Yeah.
46. Lesser Restoration. Here we go.
So, it's useful, and reading it initially, I'm like, oh, lesser res, yeah, that's going to go in, like, the top 30 or whatever.
Nope.
Like, it doesn't... These conditions don't come up as often as I feel like they should.
45. Arcane Lock.
So,
We're speedrunning.
what Arcane Lock does is it locks something magically,
Yep. Lock something arcanely.
and it makes it nearly impossible to pick because of the use of a spell. I only see this useful if you have a home base and you have a treasure hoard you want to keep safe.
Yeah.
Or something you really, really, really need to keep safe for a short amount of time.
44. Wither and Bloom.
Healing?
I actually love this spell.
For wizards?
Healing for wizards? Healing in my wizards?
So, if nothing else, the novelty of it makes me like it so much.
It's cool.
I think it's actually a pretty decent healing spell.
It's not bad.
Because you can
It does
spend
healing
and roll
and
a
damage.
hit dice.
Is the thing.
2d6 necrotic, which is negligible but not horrible.
Especially because the other thing also happens.
Yeah, but it lets you heal as a wizard, which is just really interesting versatility, especially if your party doesn't have a cleric, which a lot of my parties often don't,
Yeah.
on accident.
On accident.
Anyway,
43. Flaming Spear.
crowd control, my
Red
beloved.
control.
So it's a thing, flaming sphere.
It's a thing.
You make this ball of flame for up to a minute.
Whoa.
That can push things back, basically. They need to make a dex save to avoid it. 2d6 fire, which isn't amazing. You can move it around 30 feet. This one
Can
is just...
you make it hit stuff? Is
Yes.
this the one you can make it hit stuff?
Yes.
Yeah.
You can kind of bump it
Slam
into
it
people.
into people, yeah. That's
And
kinda
make
cool.
them make a save against it. Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
42. Magic Weapon. This is a good spell.
Yeah, I mean, it's
getting into good
very,
spells.
very simple. A lot of these spells, you might be like, a magic weapon, that's a great spell. Yeah, it is a great spell. A lot of these spells now are really, really good.
Yep, we're getting up there.
Bonus weapon makes a weapon magical.
Yeah, that's really
Plus,
good
it makes
in
it
some
a
situations.
+1 weapon. If you're fighting anything that has resistance or, God forbid, immunity
Yeah.
to non-magic weapons, this is a godsend.
Werewolves.
Yeah, werewolves. Tarrasques.
Tarrasques.
I hope by the time you're fighting a Tarrasque, you have enough for magic weapons.
Yeah. 41. Mind Spike.
So, Mind Spike.
Mind Spike.
Yes.
What's up with this one? Why is he up here?
So he is up here because... Sorry, I lost my place in my notes for a moment.
It is up
You reach into a creature's mind, you can see. It must make a wisdom saving throw or take 3d8 psychic on a failed
3d8's
save.
pretty good.
On a failed save, you always know the target's location until the spell ends. 1 hour.
Whoa, that's pretty cool.
So it's so useful against escaping enemies.
Yeah, that's super
Things that are
cool.
trying to retreat. 3d8 is pretty good. Psychic is an awesome damage type, and you can track it.
Works for me. 40. Warding Bond.
So, Warding Bond is an interesting spell. It is a very risky spell.
Yeah.
I like it a lot more for paladins than I do for clerics, which are the two spells that can learn it. So, this creature, if it's within 60 feet of you, gets +1 on AC or saving throws. Any creature you want to touch for up to 1 hour. Has resistance to all damage.
That's pretty cool.
But each time it takes damage, you also take the same amount of damage.
Yeah. Very risky.
I love this spell for paladins. For clerics, I really caution using it.
Yeah. 39. Knock. Who's there?
Knock would be a very, very good spell.
If it didn't make noise.
Yeah.
If it didn't make a really fucking loud noise that you can hear from several hundred feet away.
So Knock basically unlocks any door, chest, box, anything that you want it to. It can deal with Arcane Lock, suppress Arcane Lock. It's an amazing spell that just picks any lock you want. But it makes this ungodly loud knocking noise that can be heard up to 300 feet away.
That's farther than you think it is.
Yes.
Understand your movement speed is 30 feet per turn.
I would
That's
typically
10 times
think
that.
of using Knock while speaking.
Yeah.
Or while sneaking. And this ruins that.
It does. It's super
If you're
good.
trying to break into something, you don't want to make that big of a noise.
Yeah.
But I love... Knock is so useful in what it does that I couldn't put it any lower.
It's just that is a huge drawback.
Yes.
Alright. Number Sorry, I lost my place. Number 38, Borrowed Knowledge.
Borrowed Knowledge.
I also may have just smacked my microphone. Sorry, guys.
So you get proficiency in one skill of your choice.
That's kind of cool.
For up to an hour.
Okay. Cool.
It does what it says, you know?
Does what it says. 37, Blur.
So, Blur is a very good spell.
It's pretty good.
And it being down this far is not a knock on it at all.
Hey, we just talked about that spell.
So what it does, essentially, is...
It makes you fuzzy.
It makes you blurry. A Bigfoot can cast this as a free action.
Yeah. Real.
I wish my internet would not cut out right now.
Oh, I'm sorry. Uncuts out your internet.
So it's a good defensive buff, but it's short-lasting and it requires concentration is my one drawback to it.
Yeah.
That being said, creatures a disadvantage to attack you.
Which is pretty good. This is a general rule.
Unless it has, like, blind sight or something.
Yeah.
Just blanket disadvantage to attack you for 1 minute is pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm not that concerned with 1 minute time, especially on a defensive spell.
Yes.
I like 1 minute spells that can operate when it's not your turn.
Yeah.
That do in effect when it's not your turn. Yeah.
36, Bark Skin. Roof.
So, this one is also a good defensive spell.
Yeah. This one's, your AC can't be lower than 16, right?
Yes, this is... Your AC cannot be less than 16 regardless of what kind of armor you're wearing for the next hour.
Which is pretty good.
Smack this on yourself if you feel like you're going into a dangerous area. Smack this onto another creature. Yeah.
Put it on your wizard.
Yeah. Just smack any creature you want with it. Druids and rangers can both learn it.
35, Calm Emotions. I wish I had those.
So, this is better in Thrall.
Yeah. That's fair.
You can basically quell the negative emotions of a crowd. You suppress very strong emotion in a group of people. Each humanoid within a 20 radius sphere of your choice must make a charisma save.
Which is harder than a wisdom save, usually.
Yes. They are charmed or frightened.
Okay. Interesting.
Or wait. Sorry, I entirely skipped a line of text there.
Okay.
You suppress any effect causing a target to be charmed or frightened.
Okay.
Which is huge.
Yes,
if something is
that's
charmed
very
against
good.
you, it can fix most forms of mind control.
Yes.
Like Crown of Madness, for example.
Yeah.
You can also make the target indifferent about creatures of your choice that it is hostile towards.
Which is really cool.
Yeah, I like Calm Emotions. It's better than the Thrall. It's better than Jim's Glowing Coin. Apologies for the misread of that entirely.
It is fine. 34, Continual Flame. I know you weren't apologizing to me, but it's still fine.
Yes. So Continual Flame, I actually talked to you about it, because I wasn't sure.
You did talk to me about the spell. I actually think
And
this is a really good spell. I gave you some reasons to like
yes,
it.
you made an interesting point. So it's permanent.
It's permanent.
It's
You can
until
cast it on a thing.
dispelled. So a flame equivalent in brightness to a torch springs forth from any object you touch.
Put it on a sword.
Yeah, put it on a sword. No heat, doesn't use oxygen, so it's not like extra damage. It can be covered or hidden, but not smothered or quenched. You can sheath it and basically do it. This is a permanent torch.
Yes, this is a permatorch.
It's better than dark vision for me.
Yes.
Permanent torch, and I'd rule you could have intimidation if you had a flaming sword.
Yeah, if you pull a flaming sword out of nowhere, I would definitely give you intimidation with advantage for that.
Yeah, I didn't even consider it until you brought it up. The illusory potential of this spell.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no, you can definitely use this for a lot of things.
Yeah.
Not even just on a weapon. You can use this to, like, make it look like something else is on fire. You know, do you know how scared people would be if they walked into a room to see their barrel full of, like, gunpowder just, like, on fire at the edges?
The wick of a bomb.
Yeah. People would run.
Yeah.
If you can time it right, it's really good for illusory trickery purposes.
Yeah, it has
really
a lot
good
of
for clearing an area, in theory.
Yeah.
Anyway, 33, Dragon's Breath.
So, this initially didn't look that great to me. As a bonus action, which is a bonus action, you touch a willing creature and imbue it with the power to spew magical energy.
It basically gives you a breath weapon.
It does. So the thing about it is, you can cast it on yourself, whatever, deal the 3d6 you would.
Mm-hmm.
However, 15-foot cone for spell is good.
Yes.
You can cast this on a familiar.
Oh, can you?
Yes.
That's cool.
You can, as a bonus action, cast this on your familiar.
Ooh.
Or a non-combat NPC.
Okay.
And give them great damage output while you go on to cast an actual damaging spell on your turn.
Okay.
As a bonus action. I did some research for these lists.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's pretty terrible. And then someone pointed out, like, why don't you just throw it on familiar? And I'm like, why don't you just throw it on a familiar?
Yeah.
Which instantly elevated Dragon's Breath for me. I think it's really neat.
Super cool. 32, Rope Trick. I remember using this spell in a game ages ago.
Yeah.
It was such a random little thing, but it made me so happy.
It's cool. It only lasts an hour, but it's a good place to hide or take a short rest. You
just chilling in there.
Make this, like, pocket dimension for an hour.
Yeah.
That only people that you let climb up the rope can get into.
Hide. Sneaky.
I think Rope Trick is really neat. I
like it.
Yeah. You make this little pocket dimension where nothing can hit you.
31, Web.
So, Web is it's
control.
It's control, it's battlefield. It is very much battlefield control.
That's its thing.
You conjure this web that kind of just slows movement down and makes terrain difficult to move through.
Mm-hmm.
It's
difficult terrain.
Yeah.
Can't you set it on fire?
Yes, that's the issue with it. You can set it on fire, and the saves to get around it are Dex and Strength.
Yeah.
Which are relatively pretty high usually, depending on what you're fighting. The problem is they're flammable and the fire can spread.
Yes. Which could hurt someone. It could be cool if only your enemies are stuck in it.
But yeah, it's a fine control spell. It lasts for an hour.
That's pretty good.
It is concentration, but it does last for an hour if you let it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's really good for battlefield control, but there are ways to break out of it and to get around it.
I love the name of this spell. 30 is Snillux Snowball Storm.
Yeah, so...
Snorm.
The Snorm. We are all about the Snorm here.
The Snorm.
So, a flurry of snowballs are up from a point you choose. Each creature within a 5-foot radius sphere centered on that point must make a Dex save, or take 3d6 cold. I'm not a fan of how much damage it does.
Yeah.
3d6 cold isn't great. Cold is not an amazing damage type.
It could be worse.
But it is a decent amount of damage for this level spell, and it can hit multiple targets.
Yeah.
I'd prefer something like Burning Hands.
But cold.
Because of the extension of the... I like the cone better than the sphere.
Yes.
But it's good, especially if something isn't resistant to cold damage.
29, Moonbeam.
So, Moonbeam makes this beam of moonlight.
No way.
The big thing about it is anything caught in it immediately shifts to its original state.
Yeah.
Any sort of shape changer. It's anti-werewolf, it's anti, like, shapeshifter.
It's anti a lot of things.
Yeah. 2D and Radiant is not bad. Radiant is a great damage type.
Yeah.
And it's continual.
And there are a bunch of things that are vulnerable to it.
Get something in it. It is a 5-foot radius, but moving it is really easy.
Yeah. It's good. It's
a
good spell.
I think it's a good spell, and I like the effect it can have on werewolves and other things.
28, Hold Person. This is a great fucking spell. The only reason this is lower is because there are other spells that are also really good. Hold Person is a great spell.
I love Hold Person. You can choose a humanoid that you can see. It must succeed on a Wisdom save or be paralyzed for the duration, which is a minute. Turn and run.
Just go. Gotta go.
Like, what you have to do is cast this spell on, like, Strahd or some sort of creature like that. You turn and book it. This is getting away from the big bad spell. This is causing something to fall from a great height spell. It's so multi-useful. And it's great to... Also, it lets something get hit a bunch for a minute. Yeah.
27, Mirror Image. This is the better version of Blur.
Yeah.
In my opinion, they do similar things, but this one's better.
I compared the two in my notes, actually.
Yeah, this one's better. I like this one a lot more.
So it's really solid. It makes 3 of you, basically.
Yep. You can roll a dice and see if it hits you or one of them.
Yeah.
And the good thing about this one is they still have an AC.
Yes.
They have an AC instead of it just being disadvantage or something.
It's not possible to track at all what image is real.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean...
It's so good.
Yeah,
like,
it's a really good defensive spell. It only lasts a minute, but, like...
It matters.
It doesn't need to last more than a minute.
Cast it again.
It's so useful as a defensive option.
Yes.
Especially against an enemy that is just... that doesn't have AoE.
Yes. Very good. Alright. 26. Summon Beast.
Second level has a lot of really good spells.
Yeah. I've noticed that.
So I, on a personal level, do not like summoning spells.
Yes.
Whether it's, raising an undead servant or summoning a creature to fight for you, I'm just not a fan of it. It's too much work for me. That being said...
Action economy, my behated.
This lasts an hour. It's a second level spell slot.
You can summon a guy.
You can make a flying creature, actually, I believe.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, you can.
Cool.
It has a 20 or 30 hit point creature, depending on air, land, or water.
Yep.
And it has multi-attack. It has a maul that does 1d8 plus 4 plus the spell's level.
Yeah, that's cool.
Like, some of the things you summon can get pack tactics.
Yeah.
It's a really useful summon spell, and it lasts for an hour.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. I don't know. I think Summon Beast is a great summon spell, and I hate summoning spells.
25. This one's got 2 different versions of the same bitch. Icing Death's Frost and Rhyme's Binding Ice are the same spell.
Hey. I'm going to put you on the spot for a pop quiz right now.
Yes.
What 2 things did these spell names reference?
Are they 2 different things?
Yes.
So I know Icing Death is one of Drit's swords.
Yes, it is.
I don't know what... I mean, I know Rhyme is a word relating to ice.
Yes.
Is it, because I know Rhyme of the Frost Maiden is a thing. Is that what it's referencing?
That's the reference to it.
Cool. I knew the sword one way sooner, actually.
Yeah, that's the less easy to get one.
Yeah. No, I know the name of... I need you to understand how much of a nerd about Drits and Drow I am.
30-foot cone.
I love him. Cone.
Each creature has to make a con save. On a failed save, they take 3d8 cold and they're covered in ice for 1 minute.
That's the good part.
Which reduces their speed to 0.
That's the good part. And you have to take an action to break it off, right?
Yes.
Or someone can take an action to break it off of you.
Yes. On a failed save, you take half as much. 3d8 is not bad, especially in a cone.
Yeah, it's a really good amount of damage.
Yeah.
It's the same damage as second level Burning Hands.
Yes. I think it's a really good spell, and it has that added effect to it.
Yes. 24. Shatter. This one's fun.
Yeah, I do like Shatter a lot.
It's good. We're almost done, guys.
Yeah, we are.
I promise.
Thank you for bearing with us here. This is a very long list.
It's a real
We're
long
at the
list.
hour mark now.
We'll be like an hour and a half into this.
So, loud, painful reading noise that deals 3d8 thunder damage.
Pretty
Thunder
cool.
is a very rarely resisted type.
Yep.
It lets you... Sorry, I entirely lost what I was reading. A non-magical object that isn't being worn or carried also takes damage if it's in the spell's area.
That's pretty cool. You can break stuff.
Yeah, you can break a lot of stuff with this, which is one of the only spells that does that, at least at this level for sure.
Yep. 23. Zone of Truth. We may flavor this one a little differently than it's supposed to be flavored, but I think the way we do it is cooler.
So, you make a field that can tell you whether someone is lying or not, basically. Yeah. It's a lie detector. You'll know if they failed past the save.
You'll know if they intentionally pass,
yes.
yeah.
If they choose to resist it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll know that.
So, some people do not like this, because you can answer evasively. Answering evasively makes you look really suspicious.
It does. It's really easy to tell if someone is telling the truth or not. Even if they, like, fail the save.
Like, the counterpoint is I can refuse to answer. Like, you can, but you'll look really suspicious doing it.
Yeah. Talking around it even looks really suspicious.
Which is why you just get someone to straight answer.
Yeah. Alright, 22. Tasha's Mind Whip.
So. Sorry, that is also weird on my list.
Okay, why is it weird on your list?
Anyway, Tasha's Mind Whip.
Yes.
Is interesting.
Man, I sure hope so.
The deal is this. There is a spell that does almost the same thing as Tasha's Mind Whip.
Yes.
That will be shown later on this list.
Yes.
This is the infinitely worse version of that spell.
Yeah.
But
the other one's Unearthed Arcana?
Yeah. So, you know what I said last week, or 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
About
if your DM lets you use Unearthed Arcana, just use the better version of the spell.
So, I put the spell that was the previous the worst version, last on the first level spell list, because no reason not to. This is still up here because it's still really good.
Yes.
Intelligence save, which is hard.
Yes.
3d6 psychic, which is good. One target. If they fail their save, they cannot take a reaction.
Pretty cool.
And on its next turn, it can choose whether to move, take an action, or take a bonus action, and it can do neither of the other two.
Very, very cool.
Still leaves half as much on a successful save, but it's so useful.
It's just really powerful.
And for something that is better, if you have something that's better than it, it'd still be worth taking is important.
Yes.
However, take the better version if you can.
Alright. 21. Enhance Ability.
So, you know when I say a bunch of spells are situational?
Yes.
Enhance Ability is situational, but it's also basically a skeleton key.
That's fair.
So functionally what Enhance Ability does is it gives you advantage on any one of the 6 skills.
Yes.
As an action that lasts up to an hour, any creature you touch. Strength checks, constitution checks, dexterity checks, charisma, intelligence, wisdom. Whatever you need for a situation, this has.
Yes.
And that factors into basically any skill check because you're enhancing the ability.
Yes.
I think it's great. What do you think of it?
I really like it. I think it's really good.
Yeah.
20. Augury.
Augury.
Very cool spell. I like how much flavor you can put into it. I think it's neat.
So this has the wheel woe mechanic.
Yes, I do love it.
That tells you good results, bad results, both good or bad results, or nothing for results that aren't especially good or bad.
Yes.
This lets you, kind of pulling back the curtain here, basically ask the DM for a hint.
Yes. It's a yes or no hint, basically.
Yes.
But it is a hint.
You ask the DM, is this going to be good for me or bad for me? And the DM will let you know, good, bad, a little bit of both, or neither especially good or bad.
All right.
I think Augury is one of the really good divination spells out there.
It's real good. 19. Detect Thoughts.
So,
Show me the thoughts.
I grant you that this is situational.
Yes. But it's so useful
in that
situation?
But it's so useful, yeah. Because it's not just a combat spell, it's not just a social spell.
Yes.
It lets you see surface thoughts of any creature.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can choose to dig deeper as the spell lasts for a minute.
Yes.
You can choose to probe deeper into someone's mind. They can save against you trying to probe deeper. Mm-hmm. This is like the interrogation spell.
Yes.
Because if you question someone, they'll have to try not to think about it.
Yeah.
If you're like, where are the stolen jewels? Think about how hard it is, if you know the answer, to not briefly think of it.
Yeah. And it'll come to the surface at some point.
Yes. It's great. It has even uses in combat, I would argue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
18. Maximilian's Earthen Grasp.
So this is real good.
It's real good, yeah. I like this one.
This is one of the spells I always underestimate when I'm picking spells for a character.
Yeah.
5 foot square, which 5 foot not great, but at the same time.
Yes.
1 minute concentration. All these things go against it, so it must be good otherwise. 2d6 bludgeoning to a target.
Yep. Not bad.
But it restrains for the spell's duration.
That's very cool.
Restraining something or freezing them like with hold person is a death sentence, especially for a single powerful enemy.
Yes. Because you just get to wail on it for several turns, basically.
I mean, largely what I ask myself when I look at damaging spells is, how does this work against a horde of goblins, and how does it work against Strahd?
Yeah.
Against a Horde of Goblins, this is a very good spell.
Against
But
Strahd?
against Strahd?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really good.
So, as an action, you can crush it, too. You can deal more damage, more of this bludgeoning damage to it.
Very cool.
And it's a strength save to escape. Yeah.
Yep. 17. Spiritual Weapon. I do love Spiritual Weapon.
So it's...
The flavor is so good, guys. It's flavored. Mmm, tasty.
If you're Jester, it's quite literally flavored.
Yeah, love that.
So it's a bonus action, you flow out the spiritual weapon that does 1d8 plus your spellcasting mod of force damage. Force damage is a great damage type. As a bonus action, you can move it 20 feet and attack again. It lasts for a minute. It's really quite strong.
It is really good. Because it's a bonus action. That's
Excuse
the
my
thing
cough.
of it.
Yeah, it's a bonus action. You can do this and a guiding bolt in the same turn.
Yep. 16. Vortex War. Ooh.
Which, the notable thing about spiritual weapon is that, unlike a lot of the other spells, you don't have to summon it and then attack with it physically.
Yes.
Yeah.
Vortex War. What's the worm with this guy?
So,
As we pull it up on
Vortex
the
Warp. You magically twist space around one creature you can see within range. The target must succeed on a con save, or be teleported to an unoccupied space of your choice that you can see within the range, which is 90 feet.
Very cool.
Great to throw off opponents.
Yes.
Better when you consider it can function like Misty Step for allies.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, very fun.
Like, oh, shit, my friend's about to be bitten by a vampire? Nope.
Yeet. Number 15, Spike Growth. God, I love Spike Growth.
Oh, Spike Growth.
God, I love Spike Growth. It's so good. It's a good spell. It is such good, like, terrain control.
Yeah. So,
It's so good on battlefield control.
20-foot radius. Area becomes
If you can
difficult
put
terrain.
this in, like, a smaller space.
Yeah, difficult terrain is punishing enough. 2d4 piercing for every 5 feet it travels.
Yep, 1 square.
This, by the way, I've remembered now, is the spell that was combined with grease to make a human meat grinder.
Yes. Yes.
Also, the transformation of the ground is camouflaged to look natural.
Very, very good.
Spike Growth is an amazing spell.
It's really good.
and it's not even top 10.
Yeah, it's not even top 10.
Second level is loaded with a lot of good spells. A lot more than I realized going into making this
I didn't
list.
realize how many good ones there were either. Number 14, Scorching Ray. I love fire damage spells, despite them being commonly resisted.
Scorching Ray, Marisha's brother.
Love that.
You create 3 rays of fire and hurl them at a target within range. So you make a ranged spell attack for each of the rays, and on hit they take 2d6 fire damage. This can be 6d6 fire damage.
Good, yeah. It's pretty good.
Like, on the low end, it's nothing. But
Yeah. On the high end, it's
6
up to 36. Yeah.
Yeah.
And d6 are pretty good for damage rolls.
Yeah.
Number 13, Healing Spirit.
Oh, Healing Spirit. This is the first time I'm going to say this, and I'll say it again later.
Okay.
This spell has potential to be the best spell in the game, if not for one thing.
Yeah.
So it's a bonus action to cast, which is already extremely powerful.
Yes.
Concentration of a minute.
Yep.
Until the spell ends, you summon this little spirit. Whenever you or a creature you can see moves into the spirit's space at the first time on a turn or starts its turn there, you can restore 1d6 hit points to that creature. No action required.
Yep.
The problem is, it can only do this a number of times equal to 1 plus your spell ability modifier.
Yeah.
Which... That was actually...
move in and out of it, if not for that.
That was actually errated in.
Yeah?
It used to not be the case.
Yeah. They probably realized how broken it was otherwise.
So this would be the best spell in second level.
Probably
one of the better spells in the game,
Yeah.
if that weren't for the drawback.
Yeah. One
That
of the
being
best
said,
low-level spells by a lot.
It is still a top 15 spell even with that drawback.
Yes. 12. Oh, I love this spell. Gift of Gab. I'm not biased or anything.
Yeah, so this is Mind Games, the spell. Basically,
This is actual play. Go watch it.
you can rewrite
We're still working on finishing that arc up.
whatever... You can rewrite whatever you want that you said in the last 6 seconds. Just erase it and replace it with something else.
Yes. 2 creatures of your choice. Yeah.
Yes. We have used this for covertly communicating something when making someone else not hear it.
Yes. We've also used it for basically a call-out post.
Yeah, it's done this for intimidation, for mind games, for saying something that only one person hears and they're stunned because no one else hears it.
Yeah.
It's a good way to fuck with someone. One of the guides I looked at on other people's thoughts and spells thought this was like a funny spell that exists, but there's no practical purpose to it. No.
No,
Gift of
absolutely
Gab
not.
is awesome for social manipulation.
Super good. 11. Blindness, deafness. Woo.
Blindness is deafness is kind of irrelevant. Blindness is crippling.
It's good.
You cast something, it has to make a save, or it
can't see.
Yeah, like con saves. I grant you, con saves are easy to pass for a lot
but
of things.
It's so useful if it gets off.
If you make this thing blind, the fight is basically over.
Yeah.
That is how powerful blindness deafness is in effect.
Yes. Number 10.
We're in the top 10.
Heat metal. Woo. Phew.
God, so heat metal is vaguely situational. Concentration up to a minute.
It's so good because you can cast it on someone's armor.
You choose a metal object, such as a weapon or armor. Any creature in physical contact with the object takes 2d8 fire damage.
Yep.
Until the spell ends, you can use a bonus action on each of your turns to cause damage again. Again, up to a minute, so you'll probably get it off twice.
Yep.
But at the same time, if the creature is holding or wearing the object, they must succeed on a con save or drop the object.
If they can.
Yes.
If they can't...
If they can't, it has disadvantage on attack and ability checks until the start of your next turn.
Which is why using it on armor is busted as hell.
Yes. It is hard to doff armor mid-fight.
Yeah, it is.
Heat metal is an amazing spell.
It's really good. It's one of the best damaging spells at second level, and maybe in a lot of lower levels. Short of, Fireball. 9, invisibility.
You just make something invisible for an hour. There's not a lot to say about this one. It
is what it is. It does what it does.
A creature invisible for an hour. That's amazing.
It's really good. 8, find vehicle. I was surprised when you put this one in the next one up so high.
We don't count whether or not the spell works in all settings when we make this list.
Yes.
So, this sacrifices some things off of Find Steed, which is the thing it's based on.
Yes.
You basically make this magic car that gives you driving proficiency and increases your driving proficiency. It can drive really fast, and is functionally a magic vehicle. It can, notably, it is a Fey vehicle, or a Fiend vehicle, or a Celestial vehicle.
That's kind of fun.
That will portray some characteristic of where it's from. Mm-hmm. The example they gave is a fiendish SUV that has a sinister-looking front grille and tinted windows.
That's so funny to me for some reason. A fiendish SUV. I'm obsessed with this phrase now. My SUV is fiendish.
But what it lacks in the versatility of other things that you can do off of Find Steed is the upcasting of this.
Yes.
So it's a non-military land vehicle.
Yep.
However, at third level, when you cast it, it becomes a non-military water vehicle large enough to carry 6 medium creatures.
Okay.
A 5th level spell slot, a non-military air vehicle capable of carrying up to 10 medium creatures. And if you cast it with a slot of 7th level or higher, you can conjure any vehicle you want.
For how long? 8 hours?
8 hours, yes.
Yeah. That's really good.
Yeah. Find Vehicle is an insanely useful spell. It's one of the best modern spells that exists.
Number 7. Find Steed. Hey.
So, you make a magic animal, usually a horse. Can be something else.
Doggy.
You have a telepathic bond with it. It is intelligent. It can communicate with you.
Love this little guy.
It can understand your languages. It's so useful, and it's permanent is the other thing.
It's basically a familiar, yeah.
Yeah. It only dispels when it hits 0 hit points. It can also share your spell effects.
Yeah.
Which is crazy useful.
That's super cool.
Find Seed is a really neat spell, and it's really useful, and the permanence of it. If Find Vehicle were permanent, by the way, it would be the best spell. Or probably number 2.
Yeah.
Find Vehicle is an awesome spell. Find Steed is also an awesome spell, and I love the connection and the permanence of it is what puts it just over Find Vehicle.
6. Pass Without Trace.
Gives 6 creatures, I think.
Plus 10.
Plus 10 to stealth. That's
just flat plus 10.
Awesome.
That's it.
Again, kind of like invisibility, not much to say about it. All you're doing is just buffing your entire party, usually.
Yeah. There's very little drawback to that.
Crazy good itself. A 2 is a 12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
5. Silence.
So
a lot of people will prepare for it, but that doesn't mean it's not good as hell.
they have to save for silence, of course. Yep. The thing about wait, hold on.
What?
What am I talking about?
What?
That's why silence is so broken.
Because they don't.
You don't get to save.
Yeah.
So
it's not like a legendary resistance can work on it. Yeah.
One action, 10 minutes. You cannot save.
Yeah. That's pretty good.
It's a radius sphere. You can move out of it, but at the same time,
you don't get a choice whether you start in it.
And if you're in an enclosed area, any spell that has a verbal component is impossible in there. And so many spells have a verbal component. Silence
Basically
itself has a verbal component.
Yeah.
Yeah.
4. Misty Step. We're so close, guys. We're almost done, I promise.
Yeah, Misty Step is just the premier early level teleportation spell.
It's real good.
It can get you out of a lot of situations as a bonus action, which is useful. It's good escape.
You gotta get out of there? Get out of there.
You just teleport 30 feet in any direction on occupied space you can see. Woo. As a bonus action. It's so useful. Only verbal components. Yeah.
3. Suggestion. Yeah. It's up here.
Yeah, so you can suggest a course of action for someone who has to make a save.
Yep.
To resist it. That save would be Wisdom.
Yep.
If they fail their save, it does it to the best of your ability to follow that 1 or 2 sentence instruction, and it just does it.
Yeah.
It won't kill itself.
But basically anything other than that.
It'll do whatever it can to drop everything.
And you can set a condition on it so that it can do it later and it'll try to do it until that condition is met.
And you know what else? It lasts up to 8 hours.
Yeah. You have a lot of time to get this motherfucker to do what you want.
Yeah. Tell a guard to go, just chill for 8 hours.
Yeah.
It's so useful. I love this spell. A lot of people are like, it's mediocre. It's not. It's so good.
It's really good. Number 2. Aid.
Aid. This was my number 1 for a long time.
Yeah,
on this list.
It took you a while to find one you liked more than this.
Yeah, so Aid is suspiciously, or not suspiciously, but Aid is deceptively useful.
Yes.
So it's a 1-action spell. Choose up 3 creatures. Each creature's hit point maximum and current points increased by 5 for the duration. Now, you may think the 8 hours bit is like, oh, you'll bolster them at the start of the day. Well, that's not very good. And it's not. It's not very good to just give someone 5 hit points at the start of the day. What is very good is, as an action, reviving 3 downed allies.
Yeah. Because it adds 5 to their hit point total.
Yes.
It's not even temporary hit points. It just adds 5.
This is entirely a one-trick pony. The only interesting thing about it is that it can revive 3 people, but it can revive 3 people.
That's really, really good.
So this is...
It's half of mass healing word.
Yes.
Which you get at 5th level.
It is... The only part of this spell I think is useful, but it is insanely useful.
It's really good at this level.
A 2nd level spell slot to instantly revive 3 downed allies.
It's really good.
But it's not the best.
Number 1! Are you all ready for it? Number 1 is Mind Thrust.
So...
This is what we were talking about earlier.
This is Tasha's...
Mind Whip.
Tasha's Mind Whip. It does the exact same thing. 3d6 Psychic, can't take a reaction. It must choose whether to move, action, or bonus action.
The difference is that this casting spell time is 1 bonus action.
Yeah.
Instead of an action.
There
is a reason they changed it.
Yes. It is broken, and I do not recommend that as a DM you let your party use it.
But also, it's so good.
It's so good.
If you can convince your DM to let you use it.
Consider, cast this as a bonus action, cast it as an action.
Yeah. Give them both. You get both of them.
Yeah. Consider
take both spells.
Doing this as a bonus action, and then you get to do something else on your turn.
Yeah.
After all that, you get to do something else.
Yeah. You love to see it.
I don't know. Mind Thrust is insanely broken.
It's really good.
It is, in my mind, bar none, the best 2nd level spell.
Yeah.
And that's why no one should ever play it, because every DM should ban this at the table blanket.
Yes.
That is our list.
That's our list. Oh my god, that took us an hour and a half.
That is 92 spells.
92 fucking spells, baby. It goes down a little from here.
It does. All of it goes down from here. This is 90 Details. If you watch all this, thank you so much for watching.
We love you so much. You're so powerful and brave.
I'm going to be transparent with you. I worked so hard on this.
You did. You spent days sorting this one out.
Yes,
You really tried on this one.
Thank you so much for sticking us out with us. If you like this video, even if you don't agree with a single spell I put on here, I appreciate what you said. Even if you leave a scathing comment, a rude comment, thank you for commenting.
You're still commenting on our video.
Yeah, please.
You're still giving us engagement.
Comment, like, subscribe. We appreciate all of you guys. We're trying to get to 100 by the end of the year, and I really think we can get there.
I think we can definitely get there. We need all of y'all's help to pull it off.
We wouldn't do this if not for you, so please check us out on Patreon. Please like, subscribe, comment.
We love you.
This was a labor of love, so...
This is a labor of love. Can't wait to do every spell.
Kill me.
Hey, we already have them in a vague semblance of an order. We can just put them all together. Good night, everybody.
Thank you for watching this video from College of Lore. Remember to like this video, subscribe to join the party, and have a fantastic adventure.